Hey, this is Military Modeller Paul with my update on my Panzer 1A. As you can see, it's not the BT-17. I've had a head cold and a runny nose, and which prevented me using the spray mask, so I decided it was too uncomfortable to wear. So I started building this, and I thought, well, why not? I'll just carry on building it. And so instead of doing a video about how it went, I'm going to talk about it now. As you can see, the kit is completely built. The tracks are not on, and they're over there cold up. I'll show you those in a minute. What I will say, there's a hell of a lot of cleanup on the wheels. Now, I put the best side of the wheels facing this way, and the actual sides I had to fill the other side. But of course, when they get a bit of paint on it, that's not going to be an issue. Don't know whether that's going to show too much, but you might be able to see the little blemishes on the wheel there. They're actually holes in places, little bit of holes, recess holes. See, I use my Tamiya made out extra thin filler, which is the plastic hard one. I'll just show you because it's got made up. There we go. That's the one I used. That's the one I use. This actual Tamiya pen. When it gets to the end, I put plastic hard in it, white plastic hard, the purest form of plastic really, and it worked really well. And it's really good stuff. And you can wet sand it, and it's lovely smooth. So they're on the other side. Now what I will say is all these wheels come off, apart from the idler wheels at the top. All these wheels come off, not the idler wheels, the actual return rollers at the top. These come off. This bit here, all these wheels come off as one lump, and I'll just show you quickly there. Here we go. If I do this, it comes off in one lump, and that made life a lot easier because I can patchy paint the road wheels because they all freely turn, including the one at the front. That turns as well, so it's really easy to do, including this comes off easily, so that's no problem. The only other thing that's not glued down is the back plate, as you can see is loose, and also the two brass bits that are there. I annealed those using my trusty burner from a decent distance away, and that really worked well, using a pair of pliers obviously, and then being careful not near the flames, not too near anything that can catch light. And it gave them a nice colour, and as you can see, it's they bent on nice and easily. They're not glued down, they're just sitting slightly off, but they won't be when I glue them in place. So I can actually deal with all this painting rusting wires underneath, then actually spray that, and actually at the same time as doing the undercoat, and then do a bit of rust on that as well. So a lot of cleanup on the row wheels, I must admit, a hell of a lot of cleanup on that. Another thing I would say is follow the instructions. It puts that tool on, the actual crowbar on first before you do it. I actually put it in afterwards. Still got it in there, but it's fiddly to do. The aerial it does work. It goes up and down. I had to make it stiff. I had to put a bit of my plastic hard, my Tamiya extra thin plastic hard filler on it a little bit on the other end, and then sand it so it fits snugly. It's still got a bit loose, but I'm going to put a little bit more on later on just to make sure it's a bit firmer. Obviously the area will be in the upright position when it's displayed, but it does actually go down and fold down like that all the way down. I'll put it down now actually. There it goes into place straight away. It will go right in, but I just haven't got it, got to push it right down, and it goes in there. Easy from that end. But anyway, so that's that. All the jacks are in place. There's the actual where is it? Here it is. This tool, the cutting tool, isn't in place. I'm going to go because it goes in there easily, straightforward afterwards. So I can do that. That's not a problem. The tracks are really good. All the clear parts are still in these. I've gone for the clear headlights on the front because I think they just give it something that's different to look at. It was a nice build. Just be a bit careful. The turret turns, obviously. I just do a bit of a turn for it. There you go, it turns. I did actually do one thing though. I actually see the headlights all empty. Fiddly things to do to include those little brackets on the front. Very fiddly. The shovels come off slightly. That doesn't matter. It's having not glued on because I want to fit them. So just the actual fire extinguishers, because it's the same colour as the vehicle. I might do that grey and then go over with a bit of spray so it gives it a bit different definition. Because I'm going to be doing the desert one. I've decided on that. Coming round all the way around now. These went round nice. I did actually sand these covers slightly around the edges to give a bit of a gap, so you actually got a bit of definition between the hatch and the side plastic walls here. So that is, and it worked out really nice. Some of these actual piece hatches, the actual ones that open, none of them I've left them in the open position. I've just closed them all up for this particular kit, and some of them fitted nicely, some of them didn't. You had to keep sanding until you got it to fit, and that's what I do. So there was bit of fiddling around to get bits to actually work. But it's come on. I decided not to use my photo edge ones because I clean these ones up a bit more. These latches for the spades, thinned up the handle so it looks a bit thinner, and it looks quite nice anyway, like that anyway. So I've done that. I didn't bother going with a photo edge for that, which most probably speeded it up a little bit as well. A bit more around the back. You can see the back end. Now I've got to put the chains on, and it's actually a bit too close for me camera, but these parts here will have chains on them. That's the next thing I'm going to do before I start spraying. But I have actually seen them where they didn't have them. So the actual thing that actually lets them off is a bar that runs across the top. So anyway, but I'm going to put the chains because I've seen more with chains than less. So I'll come back a bit. I did open up the exhaust. I drilled into these exhausts further to open up and give them a bit more depth. So that was okay. Coming round, mudguards. These were a bit fiddly to fit. I didn't do them on the actual main bit as it said in instructions, and that might have caused me a problem. I don't know if you can see anyone. There's a little faint dot in there, and that's because the actual tail lamp had a little mould imperfection on it. And again, I used my Tammer extra thin with the white and just put a very small dab there, let it dry, and then went in with a wet and dry bit of paper after it dried for about 6 hours. And then done it. It would dry a lot quicker, but I just left it for as long as I could, and then sanded it then smooth. And it's nice, and that's when it receives paint. The one over this side obviously was cut out, drilled out as well. This one here, I think you can see that is drilled out quite nicely. Don't know what I've done about it. I'm really quite pleased the way it's gone, and I'm ready for priming now. One thing I keep forgetting when I do it is I forgot to, when I actually had a new jar of Tammer extra thin, because my other one was getting too low and very dodgy, and it didn't seem to stick very well. Is see how full it is right near the top. I use a paintbrush when I first start using it. The reason for that is, I keep the spare one, but I used a paintbrush in this case. The reason was when I use that actual green, not the handle, the actual lid for it with the brush on. It takes so much up on inside the hand. I had a great big blob go on on this part over here. Underneath there, you can't see it now, but I had to wait for it to dry and then sand it smooth, and then remark some of the actual welding that goes up here, because basically it dropped in one lump. And so whenever you undo a new jar, just check it to see if it's top, and use a paintbrush, or if you've got an old lid, keep the old lid brush and then just use that, because it hasn't been in the jar, as it were. That's the best way of looking at it. Yeah, so that's done. You're good. And I'll move it around a bit more. The tracks are done. Here they are. They all work lovely, as you can see. I haven't put them on the test fitting because I did actually get them around here and they would have fit, but I've got 2 plastic pins to do it. Now I think you should have had metal pins for these in personally, but I'm going to stick with that, the pins there, because mine is a static model. It's not going to be a what's name model, is it at all? Also, I drilled out a little bit of sanded smooth in there to give it a bit more hole on the actual horn. Looks nice. I'm quite pleased now. So it's coming along. It's just ready for ring. I'm just going to switch off now and come up for a top down angle for you. So I'm just going to switch off now, so I'll see you in a minute. Well, this is the top down angle, as you can see, and I noticed on the machine guns that I didn't think the hole was big enough, so I actually drilled them out, and I think you can, if I can pull that up, I think, yeah, I can pull it up a bit more. I think you can see those there. It's a lot better, the holes are more definition, and the actual muzzle brake at the end, I noticed a lot of the vehicles didn't seem to have them, so I actually cleaned that bit off and drilled the barrels out. And I think it looks much better like that myself, so that's what I've gone with. I don't know if we're going to see much more of the tools. Yep. Come round slowly. And this angle. Whoops, sorry, moved not the camera. Round again. It's a lovely model to work with, and I suppose the other one with the Spanish one with a slightly higher raised turret with a bigger Beretta, I think it's a Beretta machine gun in it, that would look nice as well. But I'm only going to build this particular one. I may build the 5-wheel one if they bring it out, because that's going to be extended body, and the wheels are provided, and that's why I've still got 2 of these. Well, I've actually done one. I'm tempted to clean this one up and have it on the front, or a spare on the back of the engine plate, something like that. I'm only tempted. Just wait and see what goes on there. I have got fuel tanks in 1/16 that can be used, so that'd be nice. So if I come around now, you'll see what I mean by the, oh no you won't. So if I'm going to zoom out a little bit, sorry about this. There you go. I think you can see it better now anyway. And yeah, these bent really nicely when they was annealed, so that was really nice. And yeah, I mean that gap's going to go on because that actually clicks into place, which is really good. So what I'm going to say is call this update, this part of the update quick. The next bit you'll see is I'm going to put this up. I wasn't going to put this up as a separate update, but I think I will. The next one you'll see if it primed all in its colour. It might even have a base colour in it. No, I might not sure with this particular one. But anyway, so I think that's basically it for this one. So if I turn that down, it might give you a bit more. That's it. That's a little bit better. Gives you the light without the reflection. So yeah, so I'm quite pleased with that. It took a bit of time, but enjoyable build, and because I was building without spraying and doing a bit in bits and pieces, filling it in between things from mum and that bits and pieces, it was been good fun. So now it's the interesting bit, as I said, is actually weathering it and doing all the painting. So I will wait till I finish the base coat and then show you. But these wheels, like I said, is much easier. Once you get this built up, you can actually have them so they come off completely as one unit. Those those rear four wheels on both sides, and makes a lot doing the weathering underneath a lot easier and all. And there's only 2 points to glue when you put it back in as well. And I can still get to the little clips that U-clips, and I'll show you those. These U-clips. Is that coming? Yeah. These U-clips go on the inside to hold it in place. Of course, once you've got them in place, you put a bit of glue on there, because the actual bar doesn't move, it's just the wheels rotate on the suspension, if it makes sense. So that's it. So really, that's it. And there's the lights I've got to do. I've left them in the packet because it keeps them, protects them a little bit there. And here's the decals. And you can't see them very good in the packet, but anyway. So that's, pardon me, that's going to be the actual basics of this kit now, overview. And I'll catch you on the next up and number 2. Now I'm going to be painting this one first before I do the BT7. The BT7 is actually in the spray area, covered over. Like I said, because I couldn't wear a mask because my nose was running too much, I didn't want to do it. So I want to carry on with this one now, because I've got further into this one and it's a bit more straightforward and spraying just around on the outside of the vehicle. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Happy modelling!